Alrighty, so today, let me go ahead and open up this, get that going, and start here. Okay, so first of all, if you can hear me okay, and if you can also see my screen okay, if you could just type a 1 in the chat box, let me know that I'm good, and then I will get started on here. Where did my chat box go? I gotta find my chat box. That's not it. Questions, there we go. All right, good. Hello from Scotland, yes. Sage, thank you. I'm recording. If anyone else can record another backup, that would be fantastic. If you can record, basically you've got some kind of screen capture, Camtasia for PCs, and then ScreenFlow for Macs on that end of it. Here in C, yes, lots of ones. Okay, good. So I will go ahead and get started here. It's lots of people piling. That's great. I'd love to see other people come on. So, so last week I was in Dubai, or last week I was in Dublin. Now I'm in Dubai, and then we've got a guest, and I believe she's in Costa Rica. We'll bring her on a little bit later, and she is in a Starbucks. It's kind of a last minute thing to come up and show what she's doing, but it's really powerful stuff. So we're going to bring her on a little bit later on that end of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so welcome to the coaching call. It is June 8th, 2016. Holy smokes, this goes by so fast. It's unbelievable. So this is an image of me here. This is just a few days ago when I was in Dublin. First time in Ireland. Beautiful country, and had three probably the best weather days there all year, at least according to the locals. It just seemed kind of warm and kind of chilly out. And one interesting fact about that was, so I was driving around with the cab drivers. The cab drivers are there, and the Uber drivers are super friendly, and a real kind of small town kind of feel. And I was saying, geez, I've seen, there's so many convertibles here. What's the deal? I thought the weather here was bad. And they actually have a proportionally larger number of convertibles, even though the weather there is overcast for the vast majority of the year. And it doesn't just rain. It doesn't rain straight down on you. It rains like straight in your face, sideways, because there's a lot of wind and stuff. But when the sun comes out, people really want to take full advantage of it. So there are a lot of convertibles there, and it's funny. And then they also have one of the highest sales of sunglasses, because it's not sunny for so many months out of the year, and you lose your sunglasses, and then you have to go out and buy new ones. Seattle, Washington's the same way. But anyways, great place. So I was talking up there, and I was sharing some stuff, non-internet marketing stuff. And I want to focus on this first screen that I've got back here. And that's this one right here. And basically, it's a saying. I'm not quite sure where I heard it. I'm probably some of you out there know where it comes from. But it basically states that the Titanic was built by experts, and Noah's Ark was built by amateurs. And we all know what happened to the Titanic. And I like that saying because I don't consider myself an expert. I never want to be an expert. I'm a student, and I would encourage everyone else out there to be a student. The minute I think you're kind of label yourself as an expert, that's when the learning stops, and that's when the people who surround you become yes people, and they just, instead of coming up with good creative ideas to either help your company or organization or you out, they'd rather just take the easy route and just kind of agree with whatever you seem to be okay with. So some examples of that is in my life, and I want you to kind of think about it as well on that end of it. We really don't want to start falling prey to the Titanics, to the so-called experts. It really is the wrong ship to be on. And the reason for that is that almost every time, not every time, but most times in history, the so-called experts were eventually proven wrong. And they've had thousands of people following them are millions of people, and based on their so-called expert advice. Doesn't mean all experts are wrong by any means, but you definitely need to question these things. When I first joined Transformation with Bill Phillips, and I really kind of marked that in 2008 as a time in my life when I was really at the bottom, and that's when things changed. It's kind of my life before Bill Phillips and afterwards. And I wanted to really win that contest, but and so I remember going to the gym, and some of you seen my before photo. I looked horrible. I looked like the last guy. I looked out of place in the gym, but the first guy that should be there, right? And I went in, I got a membership, and one of the first things they do is they set you up with an orientation with a personal trainer, and then kind of that's their time to kind of pitch you during that orientation to like buy, a couple of week sessions from 3 or 4 days a week or whatnot. And I remember, and when I went in there's this fit guy, square jaw, tall and lean, and he definitely looked like the expert. And when we were in his office, he had all the plaques on the wall, nutrition and fitness certificates and masters of I don't know, physical science from some university. I mean, he's clearly had dedicated his life to studying this, and not, for all practical purposes, he was an expert. And I remember telling him, and giving him a picture of Bill Phillips when Bill Phillips was 41 years old, and I was about to turn 41, and I was doing this contest, and I said, I want to look like Bill Phillips when he was 41 years old. Someday I'll share those photos. I actually have the photo of Bill Phillips when he was 41, and then when I was 41, and it looks almost identical. I achieved that goal, but it's pretty cool. I remember actually showing that photo to Bill Phillips the first time I met him. He was blown away too. But anyways, I remember showing this picture to him, and I said, look, I got 16 weeks to do this. It's a 16-week contest, and I really want to win it. And I remember the so-called expert was just like shaking his head going, man, not another one of you guys coming in here, another big dreamer and stuff. He said, okay, well, if you really want to do this, I can't promise anything, but this is what you're going to have to do. And he got on his computer, started tapping away, and then he started printing off all these papers, and it was this huge workout program. It was working out 5 days a week, 2 workouts a day. It was like cardio in the morning and then a workout in the evening, and like 6 meals a day. It was crazy, like every 2.5 hours. And I thought to myself, this is, if this is what I got to do, I guess I can do it for 16 weeks, but it's not sustainable. And so I did what the experts told me not to do, and I just said, you know what I can do? I can commit the rest of my life for 3 days a week, maybe 4. I can't be eating 6 meals a day. That's insanity. I said, but I can continue to eat 3 meals a day. I can eat them better. And so that's what I did, and it ended up working. And I also took the workout too. The workout was too damn long. I wasn't going to do cardio in the morning, and then I wasn't going to be doing this hour and a half in the evening working out. That's crazy. I'm not an Olympic athlete. But I could commit to 30 minutes a day. And so I just basically tried to cram in as much as I could in 30 minutes. That was it. I knew I could commit to that. So there's definitely areas in your life where you need to be questioning this. And I don't want you to be questioning experts, and don't mistake that with shiny object syndrome, okay? Because shiny object syndrome is much different. That's where you haven't committed to something, and then all of a sudden you realize, geez, this is kind of a lot of work. And then a shiny object comes along, and it kind of says, hey, this is going to be super easy, buy me. That's not questioning experts on that end of it, okay? That's not being a lifetime student. That's being a lifetime buyer and consumer of shiny objects. So don't confuse the two on there. There's many, many times in history when the so-called experts were dead wrong, but at the time, people didn't want to question them. Here's on here, the chairman of IBM says, I think there will be a world market for maybe 5 computers. 5 computers. That's the expert. That's what the expert's thinking on here. This is by Time Magazine in 1966. Remote shopping, meaning you got to, you drive out of your neighborhood. You don't just walk down the street. You drive down to like like a Walmart, like a bigger store, remote shopping, while entirely feasible, will flop. I mean, look where remote shopping is now. Remote is as remote as you can get. It's on the World Wide Web. And then who the HELL wants to hear actors talk? This is Warner Brothers in 1927. So remember to question everything. Of course, the experts tell you that you should probably go to college. And you probably should if you're going to be in a profession that requires it, like a surgeon or a CPA or a lawyer. So anyways, that's my little rant there for that. We have a lot of exciting stuff going on here. Now, I'm going to be bringing on a guest, and her name is Kristen. And like I said, she is in a Starbucks in Costa Rica. So bear with me and bear with us. There'll be some background noise and stuff, but just try to sift through it. And I don't think she's been on a webinar before, so I'm going to share the screen, hand the screen over to her, and we're going to see some results. Basically what she's doing on here, she's having it's not just her, she's actually showing some other people within our group how to do it, and they're having great results with this. And it's basically, I'll let her explain it more, but the teaser is that I let into it is that she's getting leads, paper call leads for local businesses, not using SEO and not using paid traffic. And so with that, let me unmute her and let's see how this goes on here. So let me unmute her. You're going to hear right away. Kristen, are you there? Hi, I can hear everybody in Starbucks too. That's fine. So just speak up just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the screen over to you, okay? So I'm going to do that right now.
Okay, perfect.
You'll see it pop up. I'm going to make you presenter. And it's going to go over to you. And I'll let you know when it pops up. So when you see that pop up, just accept it. And we'll see your screen switch over in just a second. There it is, right there. All right, okay, cool.
Awesome.
So give us a little backdrop here. What are you going to share with us today? Who are you? Where are you? Why are you on Starbucks? All that kind of stuff.
Right. So I started some called Student, and I've been waiting for my site to rank. I started reading the one thing, which is a great book. I recommend it to anybody. But I was really trying to figure out what my one thing is that I should be doing right now as I'm, building my site and everything to be as efficacious as possible and to start getting leads with a super limited budget. So I ended up, stumbling kind of across the concept of Craigslist. And so I put into it the beginning of May, and I ended up figuring out a system that really just dominates Craigslist. So I can show you.
Hold on. Let me just reiterate what you said for other people out there who maybe didn't hear it on that. And so hold on. So basically, let me just mute you for just a second. So basically, what she said in there, for those of you who didn't hear, is she started Callzoo when I reopened it. So it's been a few months, and so while she's been waiting for her site to rank, we can't speed this process along. It's a slow process, admittedly. She was looking for other ways to bring leads in, and she came up with a unique way using Craigslist. It's not the traditional way that maybe some of you who might be familiar with it might think it is, but she's really dominating with it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and unmute her. And so you're going to show us something, right? What are you going to show us?
Right. So just 2 days ago on June 6th, I decided, because I've been doing super well, absolutely dominating the entire first page in my Callzoo niche. And so I wanted to kind of test out a second niche. So the said, on June 6th, I launched just 3 ads in an account that I've already built, tracked in, and um, and so my 3 ads have been, posted to the top of the first page. So these are my 3 ads, and I checked it just minutes before the webinar started. So this person just posted. So as you can see, it's just 3 ads account on or just way above at the top of page 1. And I'm not sure if people realize that Craigslist ranks as most people, maybe not in this niche, but people are more savvy or more. But it's not if we create a post or created it fairly to put that in such a way that it sticks to the top.
Okay, so those 3 sites, those 3 listings were for the concrete in San Diego. Is that right?
Yes, and I did it also in Los Angeles. Top of your mind. Again, June 6th is 2 days ago. Policies that have just been posted on shipping. So it just kind of shows you. I mean, it's just 3 ads, and in my training I teach you how to create more ads, but not so many. Like you create ad variations, and then you just keep renewing those ad variations, and it's really very little work involved, which is another nice thing because we have a lot going on with the rest of the business.
Okay,
Not at all.
okay, so how did they do you not have any problems with like ghosting?
No.
No. Okay. Good on that. And then approximately, I mean, how you're selling these leads as pay per call leads, or how are you monetizing this?
Well, that's the idea. Is so this is obviously there's so many benefits to working with Craigslist in the interim while we're waiting for the sites to rank. And so basically, behind the training, and I couldn't choose for my VA actually, because I taught myself how to dominate Craigslist, and I wanted to hand it, and I have handed over to her. And then we're scaling now. We're in 5 cities right now. But yeah, so that's the idea. Is you come in here and you dominate the first page, and every niche is going to be different. I mean, my concrete niche is very different than concrete, and not every niche is going to work, and everybody's going to get different kinds of leads and a different volume. But the basic idea is that if you're dominating the entire page, then who's going to get those leads? However many. Because I don't know. Go ahead.
Can you show us an example of an ad? That somebody's asking if you'll click on an ad.
On an ad, yes. So again, these are seasoned accounts, so I can use.
Okay.
And I teach in the training. See, this is so ridiculous, right? I mean, I'm not using images. In the training, I have a video showing my call unit actually. It's all over the first page, and it's without HTML and without images. So it's really interesting because Craigslist actually doesn't like images. People like images, so you have to test that and see which converts better. But Craigslist ranks as putting in ads.
Okay, so
So, and then these, go ahead.
how would you scale this nationwide? That's what some people are asking. Can you?
Oh my goodness. Really? Yeah, so nationwide, that's super, super easy. I think there are about 700 local Craigslist sites.
Yeah.
It's also international. But yeah, the scalability is insane. I mean, so for example, even within the different, um, even within Los Angeles, for example, there's just different, there are different areas within Los Angeles that you can go to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Zip codes. I mean, it's just the scalability is infinite. So
Yeah, that's a good point. So even in areas like larger cities, Phoenix, LA, San Diego, San Francisco, Houston, it goes on and on and on. There's sub areas within there that Craigslist breaks it down into. So there's a lot more than just cities on here. They also break it down into here. As you can see on here, you can choose a location that best fits.
right, exactly.
So how are you? Are you doing this with one account or many accounts?
Well, this training is really powerful because you've already provided everyone just an outstanding foundation for it. So we already have access to Twilio, and so that makes everything amazing with that system. See these numbers here, this is a Twilio number, and then it's synced to the specific campaign, the specific company, easy. And then we also have our PBN Firefox profiles. So that's what I've done is I've moved it out with the Firefox profile I already have, including my money site actually, because this is that's another benefit of this. It's so natural. There's nothing at all suspicious about having, operating on Craigslist for every Firefox profile you have, including your money site.
So you're just using Firefox profiles. And then how are you verifying it? by phone?
Yeah. So I shoot for phone verification, verified account because more of a trustworthy. And the corporate Facebook that people were having some issues with.
Yeah, there's someone. She was cutting out here, but Dawn said she even sees her live in Toronto. You can see it live in Toronto, her ads too. We're definitely having some challenges here with the audio on the end of it. So I think it's probably what we're going to do here is I'll start to wrap this segment of it up, and I'm going to make arrangements. Hey, Kristen, I'm going to make arrangements. People are having a really hard time hearing you, including myself. So I think to make the best of this is there a way people can easily contact you to learn more about what you're doing, how you're doing it? And then I can bring you back on another phone call next week or whenever you're available when we've got more of a quieter situation on your end. Because everyone, the chat box is blowing up. And we have well over 350 people on the call. They all want to know what you're doing. But we just can't hear you. So
right, I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. So we'll just do this again. For people who can't wait right now? They just got to know what you're doing. How can they get a hold of you?
You can just message me on Facebook. or I can set up a post. I'll set up a post in call view, and then
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can
Why
just
don't you do
do
that? Why
either.
don't you do that? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Why don't you do that? So, is there any last minute things you want to show us on screen? Seeing how something visually impacting. I mean, what you've shown so far is pretty amazing, but we just can't hear you with the background noise. But if there's anything you want to leave us with visually, otherwise we'll go ahead and wrap it up for now.
Okay. Yeah. So I
Okay.
just wanted to. I've shared the training with a few members so far, and one of the members so he's been in the training and the Craigslist for days, and he's had 6 to 7 billable leads, and he's
67.
uh,
Okay.
no,
Okay. Hold on.
six,
Hold on.
6 or 7,
6 to 7 or 67.
6 to 7.
6 to 7.
Let's
Okay.
say 7. Yeah, I wish 6 to 7. That would be fantastic. I'll get
Okay.
that. Um, yeah, I mean, this is just,
But it just started. I
these
see
are
the
free.
date on here. It's just
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and it's free. You just started. It's free. You're generating leads right now. You're locating and securing potential partners right now, and it just sets you up for when you can keep those that you're already working with from your Craigslist leads. You can hand those leads from your website, and that's generating leads. I think it offers a really nice foundation, and it gives people kind of the shapes their desire for leads, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna go
And it's
ahead
great
and
for people with
yeah,
big budgets.
yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just mute you out, Kristen, on that of it. Okay. So I went ahead and just muted her out. Apologies for that. We're trying to make that happen. What we wanted to do here is basically what she's doing is this, and it's super powerful. Is what's on screen right here is someone else who's done exactly what she's doing, and it looks like it just started on the 31st of May, so just a few days ago, all the way up until the 6th on the end of it. So I think it was 6 or 7 billable, and if that's for something like concrete, I don't know what the niche is, but if it's something like that, that's going to be a pretty decent price for that. And the whole thing behind this is for some of the people out there who are asking. There's a lot of people asking some really good questions. I can tell that you have some experience with the Craigslist posting, as I do in the past as well. And she's doing some things that are completely different than what everyone else is doing. She's not putting pictures up. There's not a website in there. Everyone's saying, "Where's the website? Where's the website?" She's not getting ghosted. And if you don't know what ghosted is, I think when we get her back on the call, we'll have it explained. But basically, it's where you think the ad's displaying, but it's really not. It's kind of like Craigslist is trying to trick you. And so this came out of a necessity, and the necessity was as she's building her sites, she wanted to hurry up and bring in leads. And so she came up with this unique method using some of the stuff that she's learned in the course and what she's figured out on her own, like the Firefox profiles. I don't know if she's using the Twilio numbers or not. Maybe not. And she's having some really good success. And there was even a member on the call here who said, "Hey, I see your ads all the way in Toronto, Canada." So this is definitely working on here, and I wanted to be able to share this with all the members out here on this end of it. And just what an awesome thing is. I mean, when your back is against the wall and you want to make something happen, and innovative things happen on this end of it. And this is a great way to come in and say you're waiting to rank in 4 or 5 cities. You could easily come in and start offering leads through Craigslist to get clients, and then once you got a client, and they're happy with your leads, and then you're just going to let them know there's going to be more leads coming, and you can then layer on top of these Craigslist ads also your organic, and then you can work up to paid advertising on that, and then you've got a whole bunch of ads coming in, and you've got a really robust company at that point. So let me go ahead and switch the screen back over. Let me take the screen back. on here, and let's do it this way. Can we do this? Make me presenter. Yep, show my screen. Okay. So I will get her back on the call when she has better time. She graciously volunteered her time on here, and I know she's got kids and stuff like that, and I think she was in Costa Rica. And that was the only available internet at that time there. But we'll get that straightened out. She'll also post some stuff in on how to get a hold of her and learn more in the Callzoo training, the Callzoo Facebook group. So, okay. So anyways, kind of good to see the results. So that was nice stuff here. So let me, I want to move into, before we get into the questions and answers that were sent in, I want to show you a really, I think it's obvious source. It's a source we use all the time for backlinks, and it's also part of the service that we provide, and that is Majestic backlink profiles. And this is how we use them to get additional backlinks, and really good quality backlinks, niche specific on here. So some of you may or may not be aware of this, and I don't think enough people are, but this is what we do on a regular basis. So this was one, this is, say you're in plumbing. So I don't necessarily need to get top listings within the cities I'm in. I actually want to get some of the #1 largest sites within my niche. And say I was in plumbing, George Brazil Electric is very, very huge on the net. But let me just check the question box, make sure that people can see my screen and my sound is okay. Okay. All right, so she's going to be posting in the private Facebook group for Callzoo, and then I'm also, in addition to that, and I can get a hold of her. In addition to that, I will also have her on another call later where we've got some good audio going on, because she's got a lot to share. So moving on here, looks like my screen and everything's okay. It's all good. Okay, good. Alrighty. So it's just really this simple. When you come in, you order this from support, and just order 3. There's people who like go crazy in their ordering. It's 3 at a time, and if you order 3, it keeps you more than busy, at least a couple weeks busy, even with the VA going through these. It's a lot of hours to do this, but it's well worth it. It's basically just going through these and just following every link and figuring out how they got their backlink. And it's not that hard to do. Some of them you won't be able to get, but you'll be surprised how many you can. So let me just show you how easy this is. So this is one. These are just some from George Brazil Plumbing Electric Guy, and this is from their root domain, not their / Phoenix or / Houston. It's the root domain, which has the most backlinks to it. And so this is it right here. Now, it'd be very easy now. You're trying to figure out, okay, so is this how good of a link is this? Well, there's a couple things that I do. First of all, I use a tool up here, Firefox. It's called No Do Follow. It's all one word, No Do Follow plugin. I turn that on, and if it turns red, it means no go, it means a no follow. If it's this blue color here, it's kind of like blue go or green go. But this is a no follow link, but it doesn't matter. You want to have a mix of both on here. And then if I just look at Majestic real quick up here, you'll see that this particular subdomain here has got a trust flow of 40. So it's a substantial one. And I'll go through some other examples on here. This is not that hard to do. It's basically a matter of you just contact them. Again, to click on contact. Let me turn off that. I'll do follow for a second. Fill out the information, comments, questions on here. On that end of it, recommend a listing on that, and then you call in. You just go in and say how can I list my company on here. And let me show you some others. A little bit easier. So like this one here, this is just a big listing on here, and so if I wanted to find out which one this is, so basically what I'll do is I'll just take just their basic URL, and I'm going to copy that, and then when I come over to this next page on here, let's see, when I'm on a Mac, it's Command G, right? Yeah, Command G, and it shows right down here at the bottom on a PC, I think it's Control G. It just allows you to search on pages. And so, and I actually want to search on this page here. So there it is. And where is it? It's right here. See how it shows it up? Because I entered it down here, and that's going to be Control G if you are PC, I believe, but it's Command G if you are a Mac. And it just allows you, it pulls this up and allows you to search the page for this. And that's the link right there. And then what I like to do is I like to find out if it's a follow or no follow. So I turn on my link, the no do follow link, and it'll do this. And so now this means go. So this is a do follow link. And if I just pull up Majestic real quick on here, this particular page on here, the subdomain is 50 and the URL is 27. So it's a substantial backlink on here. And then the next thing you want to do is find out, well, how do we get these? How do you get these listings on here? And you just have to poke around a little bit. Sometimes they're free, sometimes they're paid. And let's scroll all the way down. And this is what your competition is doing. They've already done the work to find these, and they're outranking you and others. So let's see here. Scroll down. Should have pre-looked for these. Let's come on down here. Local business on here. Directory. Get our newsletter on here. Somewhere, okay, join us. Become a member right here. So become a member. On here, join the movement. On here, and dues. So, okay, so this is super inexpensive. So you can list your listing. It's a do follow link. You just do, you just say your business is just 1 to 4 people. It's $49 on here, and then you get to just list that. And it's not $49 per month on that end of it. That's annual dues. And you might think, oh, geez, that's a lot of money. But hey, when you take a domain that you that you buy for 10, 11 bucks, and then some hosting for that one domain, maybe even when you get it through some of the sources we recommend, which usually comes to about $5 a month, it adds up. So these are some things that you want to consider. Some other listings that we found straight off of here. These are some other free ones on here. Yellow Pages. This was another one I found on here. It's right here. Again, how I found that is I just typed in the domain at the bottom, lower hand screen, and I just hit Command G, enter that in. Here it is listed right here. And I find out if it's a do follow or not. No do follow. And that's a no do follow, but that's okay because this listing on here, if we look for it, I believe this listing is free. So if you want to, how to join on here. Yeah, it's just this is easy on here. So this is just as easy as on here, benefits of registering the members mentioned here. It's just about, this is a free registration, so might as well do it, right? Because they've got it there. Here's another one. This is one I've never heard of on here. And so this is how you kind of discover new links. And these are new links that you could use for all of your cities and other uses too. This is, GetFab. I've never heard of this before. Their website is right here. This is the official site. Now, is it follow or do follow on here? And it just happens to be on this one. It's a no follow, but it doesn't matter on here. It's still listed on here. And it's a free listing. So why the heck not do it on that? Here's some other ones on here, and you can see, where are they? They're on here. Otherwise, this page wouldn't have showed up. But this is another place you can do a free listing. You just have to kind of poke around a little bit. How do you sign in? How do you sign up on that? And here's another interesting one. This one right here. This one is, we turn that off. This is, I've never even heard of this site before. So this is maplata.com. You can put in your company name and you can put the website link. And the thing about this is that this is a do follow link. It's free to do. You would have never known about this. Again, you could do this for all your sites, all your cities on here. To register, let's go to register. And on here, it's for free. And you get a do follow link, and that particular link there. What was there any link juice to that page? Let's find out. End of it. And it looks, I just saw it flash up, so it looks like it. So yeah, the subdomain is 48 and the root domain is 34. So heck yeah. I mean, that's a fantastic link. This is all you got to do. And you could do this for every single one of your pages as well. Are you starting to see kind of the power of this? Because, and you're not just, and why I'm going for the root domains of like the master sites out there, because you're going to get a list of 2,000 to 3,000 of their backlinks, and you can just start going through these versus just going only for the local ones that might have like 5 or 10 backlinks on them. Let me just do some other ones on here. So this is another one. This one was actually for one I did up here. This is for the that's for bail bonds. This one was for a recovery site that I was looking at, and all of these on here are what do they do follow? Yeah, they're do follow links. This is amazing on here. Do follow, and you got some pretty good. Yeah, subdomain 40. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. And then that, and then check it out. Scroll on the bottom. You just poke around, and right here it says add your listing on here, and then you just you contact them. And what are they going to charge you for this? Most of these things are like maybe $30 a year or something like that, and for having a backlink from this one, this one happens to be, if you were in the recovery niche, the drug addiction niche, that's what all this is on here, even the diet niche on here, sobriety, stuff like this. This is coming from a website that is the same kind of niche as you, and really valuable backlink on here. So I hope you're starting to see the power of that. So let me do this. Show you just a couple more just to drill the point home. This is for bails bonds. So I came up here and I found this site here. This is again just linking off of, this is All Pro Bail Bonds, which is a kind of a smaller master domain site that's a bail bond site that's just basically in about half of California that I know of. But they have about I think about 20 different locations. So I just went through these. I just started clicking on these, and you can get the same access to this. We'll send you the list, and you can click through these. And I found this, and one of the first things I'm going to do on here is I can, if I want to find their particular domain on here, it's all bail bonds sent in here. But I can come up here. I want to know if that's follow or do follow. I tend to favor do follow. I'm going to, if do follow is coming from a niche that's in the same category as my niche, and it's got some good page authority, I'm willing to pay $20-$30 for that, no problem at all, annually on here. So so these are down here. This is no follow up here, and this is do follow links down here. And so then how do you go about getting this? Well, you just kind of poke around. Usually it's like, yes, or sorry, it's always like a sign up or contact us on here. Just sign up here, put it there. They're gonna send you some information on this end of it, and then you're gonna log in as a member, and then you're gonna post your site. So that's a completely free one. And let me just move on here. Let me undo this. It's kind of in the way. Again, if you're in the bail bonds niche, this is something about this page is on here, and where are these guys all? And these links on here are as well. See, these are, these are do follow links on a page that has a subdomain of a subdomain of this, which is this page is 22. That's not bad at all. Let me just undo this really quickly on here. And then again, you just scroll around and look for, trying to list your business for free. I mean, why the heck not do this? And these are things that you're not going to find normally on the list of citations and stuff like this. So again, all these other people have done all the hard work to find these. This one's of a PR wire. So don't ever say that PR wires don't work. It's right here, and it's right down here. Their link, is it going to be do follow? My guess is probably is. It's a no follow, but that's okay. Some source all profile ones. That one's not either. Nope. Some wires let you do a do follow. This one's not. Okay, I'll just do a couple more. That one came up again. This is Redwood City. This is one for the bail bonds. And this one's totally free on here. This is a steal. Right here, land bail bonds, tools, and no follow. And that's a do follow. That's a do follow link. And what's kind of trustful? I mean, it's 21, 18, and 4. It's a good link. Come on. That's a great link to have on here. So I just keep going on. I literally spent like 10 minutes before the call just whipping these out on here. And this is how incredible I'll go over how you layer this in with your private blog networks and stuff. These are really powerful. So this one right here, this is from the competition. This is a forum site. Now I've been telling you, and I have methods that you can find forums, but these things really do count. And I have the no do follow link on, and so these are all no follow on here. But look at here, because they just don't know how to register this incorrectly, but this SEO company does, because that's a do follow, so they know how to do it correctly. These other guys do, and these guys do too, right here. And I show you in the course how to do it as well. Half of them don't know how to do it, but these are do follows. And this is great. This form in here, this is an all fugitive recovery agent bounty hunter bail bonds. This is a niche related site for bail bonds. Why not leave a comment on there and do a do follow? What's it got for the page rank? To me, it really doesn't matter. But look at the subdomain's 59. Are you kidding me? I mean, these are, and people scoff at forums don't work. Don't do forums. That's so old. Are you kidding me? Google wants you to interact with the local community on here. This is totally fair game. All right, what do we got? One more. Yeah, there's another one. That's a Chamber of Commerce, and it's a do follow. But so, anyways, how would you use this? How do you use this to your full advantage? How do you leverage this? This is super, super powerful. So let's just recap for a second. I would be looking for URLs that are master domain sites. Ones that have got the trust flows of 50s and 60s and stuff like this at their root domain. Instead of going after just the little city ones, and starting there, and then you've got 4,000 or 5,000 backlinks, and then going through the backlinks. I've just gone through a couple here, just like 10 minutes. You can get hundreds of backlinks like this that are niche specific, and these sites are authority sites, partly because of the makeup of their backlinks, and you're just duplicating it, and you can duplicate it to a much higher level than what they do. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. So first of all, let me go over some of the powerful strategies here. Let's say, for example, this site right here. This is a niche specific on here for bail bonds. You got a bail bonds. Something I touched upon a couple of coaching calls before, but we're going to get more into depth in this, is how you're going to take one or two of your private blog networks and you're going to repurpose them into becoming niche specific just for your particular site. And how you do that, they take a lot of work to do with their investment, but they pay off hugely. So as you're coming through and you're finding these kind of backlinks, you want to make a list of all the backlinks on here. And then these are all backlinks that you can be sending backlinks to your one or two private blog networks that you are repurposing specifically for your niche. And now it's getting backlinks to your private blog network, all niche specific stuff, and you can put lots of articles in it. It's going to become a really rich site on the end of it, and it's going to become an authority site that's going to be backlinking to your authority site. And so this is a great way to do it on here, is finding these extra links, and you can literally crawl through and find hundreds upon hundreds of these. So do you want to link all these at one time? No, you have to have a good balance of link velocity coming in. You don't want to do this all at once. My recommendation is slow and steady always wins the race. If you go too fast, Google's going to kick you back to the back of the line, and then you got to basically kiss up for the next 4 or 5 months until Google decides to retrust you again. And it's just better not to even fall in that trap. So I like to do a combination of, for the major cities, 1 or 2 private blog networks to your site, and then 1 or 2, say like niche related, if you can find them like this, sites. And actually all these are, right? All these are, this directory on here. This was another one, by the way. This is one of the backlinks was actually their YouTube videos on here. It could be one of these do follow backlinks on here. So you can go through here and do 1 or 2 of these links as well, in addition to your private blog networks, and you'll have more links on top of that because you've got stuff like link exchange you can do within the group, and you've got these extra links here. So what can you do with those to kind of speed things along? Well, you want to select a few tier 1 buffer sites. So you could then start, and that's where it's a perfect time to start building out 1 or 2 of your private blog networks to be niche specific. And then you use those 1 or 2 and you're sending your extra backlinks to that site. And that site has just got articles and is niche specific to your site. And it's just got 1 link going out to your site. And then you just buffer it. It's a buffer. And then you start hitting some of these extra backlinks to it, some extra private blog networks from the community to the back end of your private blog network. Just the one site that's going to be your authority site for your private blog network, and then it has 1 link going out, and the link just funnels through that 1 link and pushed out to your site, and it helps buffer it so that you're just getting 1 link that's just stronger and stronger and stronger, rather than sending 10 or 20 links to your site. I hope that makes sense. And then you can use other buffer links, other ones that will benefit you. You can take one of your citations. I would recommend it's a citation that is a do follow, never a non-follow citation. And then you can use that as a buffer site. You can start sending extra backlinks to that. You can take one of your YouTube videos and you can start sending extra links back to that. And then, of course, in your description, you've got a link there going to your money site. So some of that link juice can flow through there too. Plus, you're going to get the video to do that. So that's a combination of how you can take these extra resources for really good quality backlinks on here. These are not spammy backlinks. These are like, all these backlinks are perfectly fine with Google as shown, because these sites are authority sites and they're ranking, and these are not. This is activity that normal local businesses do. So it would be normal for you to do the same thing. So I hope you found some value in that, and then. So, the next time you order your Majestic backlink report, this is the primary use that you should be using it for. This is your best use of time on here with this. It can really, really help out. So, okay, so let me, I'll get to questions and answers here in just a second. Let me first get to the questions and answers that were sent in. I want to honor those people who sent those in here. And, there's some big ones here. Okay. Well, some doozy ones. Okay. All right. So I haven't had a chance to go over these. Let me go through these first, and then I'll open up the questions and answer box and chat box. Do you ever have clients that while they are developing their master domain, in order to bring in immediate income, use the pay-per-call knowledge as a consultant to companies that are already doing pay-per-click, and they have ranked on the first page of Google organically? Do you ever have clients that while they are developing their master domain, in order to bring in immediate income, use their pay-per-call knowledge as a consultant companies, and are already doing pay-per-click? Okay, so there's a couple ways to do this. One of the ways is, and it comes back to the theme that we kind of started with the call today, and that is, as you're building out your site, as you're waiting for it to rank, because once it ranks, then you can start layering pay traffic. You're going to get really good low pay rates, so it gives you room for error. You're going to get a lower click per call. So while you're waiting for that to happen, one of the ways is we'll have Kristen back on. Also take a look in the Call to private Facebook group. She'll post some information on how to get a hold of her. And she's obviously figured out a way to do that with Craigslist, and it's obviously different than what I've seen done in the past. So that's definitely one way you could do that. Another way is acting as a consultant while you're waiting for this to go. Yes, you can. There's actually a whole aspect of Callzoo that I don't even have any training on, and I've never even sold it as a selling point. But it's there, and it's fully functional, and it's a really, really powerful part of Callzoo. And you could use this feature for acting as a consultant, and that is this. It's really valuable. Is on the back end of Callzoo, you can set it up such that, let's say that you're acting as a consultant for one of your company's clients. Maybe they do some SEO. Okay, great. So you got this SEO up there. Maybe they do some mail inserts. Maybe they do some paid advertising, and so on and so forth. And each of those paid advertising sources, or all their sources of advertising, you can attach a Callzoo number to. And then you can offer the consultation service of when that call comes in. It's a manual thing, but what happens is that it's really powerful. Is that you can measure how many calls came in for, let's say for organic, how many calls came in for Google AdWords, how many calls came in for maybe a YouTube video, how many calls came in for some other form of paid advertising or radio or whatever. And you can track all the calls, and then you can start to create an ROI. And you can take it a step further and offer a real premium service here. And that is, you can take, and Callzoo has the ability to do this, you can take each client's person who picks up the phone. So maybe they have, 3 people who regularly pick up the phones. And you can start to track which one closes the most sales. And this is really valuable information. You can also see how many phone calls they miss. You'd be surprised. A lot of businesses have no idea that they're losing like 20 to 25% of their phone calls. They just don't get answered. Is that crazy? I mean, they pay for these, but they just don't get answered. They're not even aware of it. That's a lot of business lost every month, every year. In addition to what they're, and the whole back end of Callzoo will show this. We're like, hey, well, here, it came in, here was 25 calls that came in last month from your Google AdWords account, but notice that, look at that. 7 of them weren't even answered, and they called during business hours. What's going on here? I mean, that's a lot of potential revenue to lose. And then you can say, hey, look, of all the calls that came in this month from these different sources, Susie's obviously the best closer because we can listen to all of her phone calls and we have them all on recording. And she's the one who sent the most appointments. Maybe that's how you judge. You have to figure out between the owner how you judge what a closed deal is. So maybe a closed deal is maybe not a sale over the phone. It's to go out and get a bid. It's to get people to come into the showroom floor and get an estimate for their kitchen remodel or whatever. You have to figure out how you define what a close is. And then you can, and it's a manual process, but you can hire VAs to do it. I would suggest you do it your first time around. You can charge a couple $1,000 for this, by the way. And so at the end of the month, what have you got? You've got some huge intel here, some really valuable information of how they're losing money, and more importantly, how they can become more profitable. And one of those ways is you can see how many calls were missed. They're not even aware of that. Number 2, they can see which of their ads that they spend has the greatest ROI. Is the greatest ROI coming from the organic, or is it coming from the billboard ad that they never quite knew if they were getting any business from it or not, and so on and so forth. So they can get really crystal clear on that. That's huge data to find out, to know how you're going to project. Should we, these mailers are junk. We're getting hardly any phone calls at all. We thought we were getting all our phone calls from those, but actually where we're getting all of our phone calls from is from the billboard and our organic. And they just didn't know before. They had no idea. And now if you attach a different phone number on each and forward it to their phone, they will know. Then, so you have that's 2 elements of it: the ROI, how many calls were missed and answered. Be surprised how many were missed. And then the third element to it, which is huge, is who's answering the phone, and then how do we judge what a closed call is? You'd be surprised. There are some agents and the owners are clueless on this because they don't record the phone calls. They don't have anybody monitoring them. And someone is, they're getting 10 phone calls and they're obviously short and trying to hang up on people, or trying to get over the phone call quickly. And okay, if you're not interested, no problem, just give us a call back. Da da da. Whereas someone else is really trying to close those things. And at the end of the day, what they really realize is that they need to monitor that, and they need to incentivize them somehow on that. And then you can really turn. I mean, that consultation alone there, at the end of a month or two, they could go from being barely profitable to massively profitable. I think you can see why. Okay. Good question. Ooh, another doozy one. Okay. Chris, I just gone through my niche market research, and I'm now in the process of doing more in depth. Okay. Keyword research for the first 5 to 10 cities. Okay. And I'm going to rank the site for. At the same time, I'm also thinking of how I'm going to structure each page for my master domain site. Okay. Basically, what I wanted to know, when is it okay to add a separate page to my niche page? To give you an example, my niche is made up of multiple services, and based on my keywords, I can easily accommodate my niche's main service offering on one page, okay? But there's actually a number of subservices which could also rank, obviously with less searches, but would definitely require a separate page. Would you say that, let me get this out of the way here so I can finish. Would you say that, that I should build out all my main pages first and then add additional pages when I'm starting to rank, or kind of do this all at the same time? It requires more work, but sure, I don't mind on here. Okay, so this is a good question. This question is basically how you answer it is with video zero exercises. And really all that in module 1 of video zero exercises, all that it is, it's just taking the keywords and getting them out of the keyword planner tool and then putting them into the search engines and studying what shows up. That's more than 60% of the whole picture there. You have a keyword. Okay, that's a keyword to get good searches. Just to leave it there on the Excel sheet is only giving yourself 40 to 30% of the overall picture. You want to get the full picture, so you got to take that keyword, add a city name behind it, whatever it is, Plumbers Phoenix, and then Plumbers Houston, Plumbers San Diego. Just pick 5 or 6 big cities, and then look at the results in the search engines. And don't just look at them. You have to open up the pages. You have to be a curious George, and you have to be looking at this stuff. You got to see what shows up. What does Google make appear when you type in certain words in here? What you'll find is that some of your keywords that you thought were part of your niche actually are not. They're actually part of a different niche. Or they are part of your niche, but you've noticed that the majority of the sites that are ranking for that particular keyword within your niche has a separate page for it. And that's what this question is about. So you can have groups of keywords that, you have your main group of keywords usually locally, and it's usually going to be around 4 to 5 to 7, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, just a guideline, 4 to 7. And those are going to give you the vast majority of all your searches. So in a big city, they may give you a total of 1,000 searches. But there might be a smaller groups of keywords that, by doing video zero exercises, you've noticed that all the other guys out there, gals are doing their sites, they're showing a separate page for it. And those are the ones that are ranking the best. And so that tells you, because Google just told you, that you need a second page, right, if you want to rank that group of keywords. And although it might be less, it's all it's cumulative, and it adds up. So if you got an extra 100 searches or something, I think it's definitely worth it, and it'll be easier to rank for as well. So I would go for all your groups, and I wouldn't just go for the main ones. I would, if you decided there's, you've got 2 groups, you got your main group and a subgroup, and so you got 2 pages per city, I would get them both up, built, and ranked at the same time. So good question. Alrighty. Oh boy, another doozy of a question. Okay. So during the wait time for the site to climb the page, how do I best continue working towards the full closing method since I already have? So this is a good question. We've in part already been answering this question on here. What do you do? I mean, one of the things that you do is you continue your backlinking, and you continue it in the manner that I explained earlier. We're doing the tier ones, where you're getting those extra backlinks from. You're doing them from the Majestic, while you're also building your private blog networks and your Web 2.0s. You're doing link exchanges, and you can keep building out more and more and more and more cities too. You don't have to just start with one, rank it, and then move on. You can start right up with 4 or 5 cities and start ranking those right away. And there's a lot of work you can be doing in that. The type of work that you can be doing is you're going to be building out your private blog networks. You're going to be building out 1 to 2 super private blog networks that are niche specific. So you're going to be doing extra backlinks to those, lots of good content. Those are the ones that are really going to pay dividends in the future. You're going to keep ordering as you go through them. Don't order more than 3 at a time. The Majestic backlinks, and do what I did here. You can find a gold mine of literally hundreds and hundreds of backlinks, as I just demonstrated there, just in like 10 minutes of just looking through really quickly. So you can be doing all of those things on that end of it. And then you could layer on top of that, if you want to, you could layer with the material that Kristen will share with you. Or have her back on a call again, and you could be bringing in leads like she's doing. And actually, the example that she showed on the screen is actually someone who is following her teachings and had leads coming in. So has a client, had leads coming in. As the site gets up and gets built, you can have more leads for that one client. You've already got the client focused on. So you could be layering that on top of that. So let's see here. Yep, I think I basically covered that. That crowd search. Okay, and yeah, you don't want to be too aggressive. I've already addressed that on here. Then you don't write more service posts once you got your 4, you're done on here, because it's with your local site. If your local site in your particular niche is not a niche where people need a lot of information, and there are some niches out there that require a lot of information and actually require that you educate the client. You'll know which one it is, because as you're doing your video 0 exercises, which again, all that is it's taking the keywords and actually dumping them into the search engine and seeing what the 800-pound gorilla Google does with it, and studying it, because that's where the real results are at. And then looking at your sites and saying, oh yeah, these are pretty thin sites. They got a city page, and they got a few links out to some things that are of interest to people. But people aren't coming to you can tell people aren't coming to the vast majority of local sites to be educated. They're there to purchase. So they need just enough information to purchase on here. Okay, so I think I answered that. That's good. Let's see what I got. Okay, last question, then I'll turn over to questions and answers. Let me take a quick drink of water. Okay, so this is coming off of last week's. If you're new to these calls, every single one of these calls has tremendous value to your business. I would go back and I would listen to all of I know it sounds like a lot if you just started, but I would go back, and there's some gold nuggets in every one of these that I guarantee you will not be a waste of your time. It will help you out in your business for sure. And this is one of them too, last week's one. I'm curious to know if Chris or any other members have come up with a plan to combine it with the call-through method. And he's referring to, or he or she is referring to last week's call, and that's when we had the guest on, Jeannie, who was fantastic, and she talked about how she's just targeting really small cities, like some of them under 50,000, like a couple of them were under 50,000, definitely under 100,000 population. And these are cities that you'd go to Google keyword planner and it would just tell you, there's just 10 searches for this keyword. And you're like, oh, geez, I can't do anything. Well, she was showing how much she makes per those, and she was pulling in over $15,000, and she's got, just a small handful of these really smaller cities. Easy to rank for, all that kind of stuff. So it got people really excited, myself included, on that. So there are some people out there that I've read some posts. There are some people in the private mastermind group that are going to be implementing this. So, for example, I do know some people, they've shared a little bit of the results, is that if you're in a larger city, say you're in, so you're like maybe Phoenix, and you're trying to rank in Phoenix, and you're getting up there, but you're not quite up there yet. These are the results that we're starting to see other members do, is that they immediately just rewrite their homepage and then add, like a Gilbert, a Chandler, a Mesa, I'm thinking Spain, soccer player, Scottsdale, even Tempe, Peoria. These are all the small areas around there. And without any backlinks, within 2 days, they're already up on page 2. So they obviously had some momentum and pull from the main city on the end of it, but those are some of the results that people have shared with me. I don't know, other results might be better out there, but it seems extremely promising. So that's how some people are doing it. And they would take, maybe their existing larger cities that they're in, no matter where they're ranking, and just start peppering the smaller cities around it. And some members have seen some positive results with that. So I think that's a pretty no-brainer. It's pretty low risk to try that. In fact, I don't see any risk to it at all. That's how I would encourage you to do that. So with that, let me, what are we running on here? So we're about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So we'll go about 10 more minutes on here. Let me pull up the question. These get too long, then no one even wants to listen to them. So let's come down here. Okay, keep going. All right. Does it have to be a link in the country in a country that you're servicing? It helps for sure if the link is from a country that you're covering. Yes. Would you list yourself on a site for every city or just the main domain? I'm not quite sure I understand that question on that end of it. I thought Google knows if it's a paid link and doesn't like them. For paid directories, last time I checked, places like Angie and Yahoo and all the other ones have paid links. The premium paid links not. They certainly rank those. So I think a lot of people, one of the things that's so confusing about SEO is that no one actually goes out and tests anything. They just go off of what they heard on a forum. And then that becomes a new daily kind of thing. Well, that's not what I heard. And it all becomes, that's not what I know, when you haven't even tested it. Every single thing that we do to rank our sites is purely off of just what I showed you today. All we're doing is we're not even listening to the noise out there. I don't even go to a forum. I don't listen to that whole Moz forum stuff. None of that stuff. It's just, to me, it's just a distraction and confusing. I just go to, hey, this site is ranking really well, like, the George Brazil Plumbing is ranking really well and has been for years in like 100 cities. They must be doing something right. So let's take a look at how they're building their sites, and let's go back and take a look at their links. I don't know. It's served me really well so far. So, here we go. Have you heard the rant about not listing on local directories? That it's a scam and stuff. I'm the one who says it's a scam on here. The people who do these are parasites on here. Well, look. they're definitely, the directories out there, they're definitely not there for your pure benefit, right? They want you listed there so they can now contact you and try to sell you shit. But we have a blacklist on our call zoos, so we can do that. But look, I mean, I just showed you, I'm not a huge one on citations. If you've been through the course, how many citations am I recommending? 3? 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Not 40 or 50 or 35. Okay, 2 to 3. All right? But look, if you happen to be going through some sites and you happen to see your competition, they're all, and they're, maybe their top 30 backlinks, it happens to be a couple of listings like yellow pages, you probably want to pay attention to that and list one. Okay. Would you save these and link to 1 and 2 a month rather than all at once? Yeah, I think I already mentioned that, Tom. Yeah, we definitely not rank them all at once. Save them. And you can do a combination of things. Is you can either rank them slowly, or you can rank some slowly to your site, and then the other ones you get, you can start linking right away, as many as you want, to your tier 1 buffer sites. And that way you can safely use them. And I would save them for listing your other cities too. I mean, you can really grow these things out. Okay, good. Search equals list your business plus city. Yes. I thought we only had to have a few good backlinks using the master domain strategy, but that's a misconception. The whole strategy behind the master domain site is that not that you have just a few. That's after you've reached that tipping point. Okay, your route on those first 4 to 7 cities are going to take quite a bit of links to get those. But the reward at the end is that once you reach a tipping point, and you'll feel it, is that the next city that you go up, you'll just have like 1 or 2 citations, sometimes nothing, and it's just like it's already on page 1. And that's when you know you've reached that tipping point, and then you can literally rank 40 or 50 cities after that with very, very little backlinks. So don't forget that first part of it. That first part is critical, and that's what we're talking about. And that's where everyone gives up. Like, this is too much hard work. Are you kidding me? I've shown several examples of master domain sites that have sold, that are either making $75 to $100 million a year, or they've sold for $32 million. Those are really powerful stuff. So take the time to get over that tipping point. The first 4, 5, 8 cities, it depends on the niche. It's going to take some work to get up there. But once you get that tipping point going, then, man, I'm telling you, those other cities, they just rank really easy. Do you have any diagrams, mind maps of what you just described for the linking strategy? Nope. Listen to the replay. Well, actually, I do. I go over the linking strategy in the course with the mind maps and the tier 1s. It's just real basic stuff. 2 links from a private blog network per month at most. 2 from another source at most. If it's newer, I'd even slow it down more. And then if you got extra backlinks on that end of it, use tier 1s. You can use other stuff that you want to rank, like a video, a citation, a PR site, and you can just use those as buffer sites and just nail the heck out of those with your extra backlinks. That's it. That's all there's to it, and just time. How do we properly have a call Zoom number be approved by Google using ads? Jason, you've already sent this in to support. My support desk answered this for you on here, and my support desk knows these answers to this better than I do. And that's another thing I want to address on here. Look, I run 4 other businesses on this, and I'm extremely busy. And the only reason I can do this is because I have a staff. And now at this point, I have a staff of over 40 people who help me with my business. So these people know and run my business. They know the details of it better than I do, okay? So don't be thinking that, I know there's people in here, I see them come in on the support desk. I've got to have Chris answer that. Well, you know what? I look at it and I go, I can't answer this. And I handed it over to my staff. I said, I have no idea about this. I don't even do the paid advertising. This department does. You guys answer the question, and they can answer it. I can't. Okay, and so I think the misconception in there comes in that it becomes like very personal. I'm here in Dubai doing a ton of other business, not just sitting here on a webinar with you guys. I'm doing a lot of other stuff that's way outside of anything to do with pay-per-call or any kind of training courses or any pay-per-call training courses. And I've got staff here that I've flown down. So, I run multiple things and I can't do them all just myself. And I know there's people who I think it's great that there's enough personal touch there that you feel like Chris is going to answer every single support desk question and stuff like that, but that's just not the reality, okay? And it's not to be impersonal or, oh, geez, you're too greedy with your time. No, you should really model what I'm doing. You should never be answering your own support desk. You want to build your dream team. By the way, if you haven't watched the 2 replays about building your dream team, you need to stop whatever you're doing and watch those. Those are like 2 of the most powerful, in my opinion, coaching calls that I've ever done on the end of it. And it gets everyone out of this mindset, this Lone Ranger. And I talk about, how people go from working for someone else, being an employee, to being what they would call themselves an entrepreneur, but they're not. All they do is they just work from home, more hours, and usually for less money. But they call themselves an entrepreneur. You're not a fucking entrepreneur. You're a solopreneur, working harder than you used to for the same or less money, and you call it freedom, and it's really not. As an entrepreneur, your job is to create other jobs. Your job is to build teams that solve problems and add value to the world. That's what you do, okay? That's what CEOs and stuff up companies do, okay? So that's what I do. And so, anyways, I can't remember where I started with that. But so anyways, I see that kind of stuff in there on here. So, trust me, when one of my team members answered a question, they answer it better than I could. Okay, I'm not the expert. They are. They're the ones who do the SEO. They're the ones who build the sites. They're the ones who do the backlinking. They're the ones that find out if we do backlinking and it doesn't work. They're the ones who find out about it, not me. They're the ones who give me the information. So, okay, well, what are we going to do now to change this? They come up with the solutions. I don't. Okay, they're not out there buying the courses. They're out there reverse engineering what other sites are doing, and we're testing it. Okay. All right, so let me continue on here. How do you use Callzoo to track numbers that they already have on their websites? You get them to temporarily change their number on that. That would be the best way to do that on that. Alrighty. How do you set up your site to show up for another city when you have it to set up to show a static page for your home page, which is another city? Yeah, there's a lot of confusion around that. You can have just a home page. You're probably fine with that. Just a general home page. It's not a city. It's just your company homepage. That's fine. You can build a site that way. It's no problem. We don't, and that's fine too. It's not going to hurt your SEO. It's not going to harm it, none of that kind of stuff. We just take our mysite.com/Houston, and we just set it as a static page, and that's now our homepage for Houston. And then we just keep adding more and more pages for different cities. It's just that simple. Okay. Yeah, so you can ask me some technical stuff on your brand that I don't know about. I didn't build it. I didn't even come up with the idea for it. My team did. I'll do my best to answer this question, but it really needs to go to my support desk because they can answer this, I think, way better than I can. Because I'm a question about the campaign switcher. I have a site where I am in 30 plus cities, but I require a web page for the 4 main services that are offered, as Google sees each service as distinct but part of the overall niche. How can I use one telephone number per city and track which service is driving the traffic to the campaign switcher tool? Yeah, you want to contact my support on that, dude. This is a perfect example, and I can't give you the correct answer for that. My team can though. How about that? That's the way it should be, by the way. Okay. Did you know all your coaching calls are visible on YouTube? Yep. Yep, that's fine. It's no problem. That's called free PR, buddy. Okay, so Jeannie down here, she's saying, for all those small cities, many of them have a Craigslist presence, including my own in Myrtle Beach, and I've been using Craigslist for years. Super source of traffic, and include training on that on this end of it. Cool. So how many people pay attention? Awesome. So there's just more reinforcement right there. Thanks, Jeannie, for that. One of these days, you should share your workout routine on that. We are opening up this summer, flying down a bunch of people. We're spending 1 month in Korea, film crew, all kinds of stuff. We're getting a product line out, and that's going to be a 5th business I'm opening up. I can't do it alone. I've added about another 12 more employees for that. But yeah, we'll be doing a whole health line products, both products and workout and everything. When starting a new city, do we link to them as well as the main domain? How does this affect link velocity? You want to think of them as separate, but if it is smaller pages, or smaller cities on that, like if you got one that's fairly competitive and it's like all the other sites up there have some good trust flow and they've got quite a bit of backlinks to it, that's your competition. So you kind of judge your link velocity according to that. Whereas you might have a really small little cowtown city and they have hardly any backlinks at all to them, then you want to slow it way down to kind of match where you are there. And at the same time, as added insurance to it, which I think is the greatest thing since sliced bread, even though I don't consume bread. It's the crowdsource, man. The crowdsource, especially when your site is new. See, it's very easy for Google to tell that you're trying to totally hack the system. If your site's brand new and it's way back on page 12, and all of a sudden you got like 2 to 3 high quality links coming in a week, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because according to Google, or according to what we think Google wants to see, right? None of us really know, right? We're just all trying to reverse engineer it. We should be getting links from people naturally visiting our site and saying, hey, this is pretty cool. I'll share it on my blog or something like that. But if you got no searches and all of a sudden you get these backlinks, it doesn't make any sense, right? And that's where the crowd search is so powerful. Okay, let me skim through these. We're getting over an hour and a half here. Okay. The recorded message is encrypted. Michael, you think you had a discussion with my head programmer on that? He can answer your question. I can't. I know nothing about encrypted messages, okay? But my support does. They're there 7 days a week for you guys. Seriously. I hired them for me and for you to help you out. Use them, okay? They're really good. Is there any thoughts of adding a menu to Callzoo so that when someone calls, they can be sent to a different city and then to specific services for those with multiple services in a city? Not that I can see, because if somebody is searching for, dog training, they're going to search that into Google and it's going to pull up the best results for that, the best end results that Google thinks. It's probably going to be sites that are specific or pages that are specific for dog training rather than calling like a generic dog kind of site and then calling and then getting shifted off to different sub areas of it. If I understand your question correctly, that's just not the way it's not the way Google displays it, and it's not the way people find it on that end of it. So if I didn't answer that correctly, send it to the support desk. They'll do that. I've started a a site in the UK, and I'm struggling to keep going on this, but it is ranking. I have a product line on Amazon. Would you like to build this with me? I appreciate the offer. I'm flattered, but no, when I invest in Amazon stores, I'm like investing in Amazon stores and e-com stores that have a 1 or 2 year history. They're usually doing between $50,000 and $100,000 profit per month, and they need like $500,000 to $1.5 million cash influxed in order to double and triple their business and quadruple it. And then I take over 51% of the company, and the whole objective is to build it and sell it in 12, 18, 24 months. So I don't take any profit from that, so we make the books look as profitable as possible, so I take zero salary from it. And then the original people who own that, we cut them out to a lower base salary, so we can put the profits back in the company, and then it's most sellable. So that's the kind of scale that I'm looking for. I appreciate the offer, but unless you got a 1 or 2 history with like paid advertising and product lines, and you can clearly demonstrate that there's only 2 things preventing you from exploding, and that is, number 1, you don't have enough inventory, and you've got all the inventory line figured out. You got the best vendors, all that kind of stuff. And then you're doing paid advertising, and you can clearly show the history there that's profitable. It's just that you can clearly see that, hey, when I start dumping even a couple $100 more in, then it starts to eat up my inventory, whereas my other capital's tied up and it's this kind of cat and mouse game. You can only slowly grow, like a few thousand a month, but you could see if you had more money, you could literally go to $100,000 to $250,000 a month. So that's kind of what I do. Can you explain ordering domains for private blog networks? John, Module 7, that's all about that. If we're building 3 backlinks per week, now I said like 2 to 4 per month, are not all being indexed, as Google only picks up 30% of them. I don't know where you heard that from, 30% on that end of it, of what they find. Should we not build more per week to compensate for the slow build? No. Nope. Don't. Okay. Okay, you're good. All right, cool. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to wrap that up. It's a good call. We'll get Kristen back on. We'll get it properly done, so she has everybody can hear her, and we can go over some case studies that she's doing, because she's doing some really exciting stuff, and I want everybody to see that. And she will post that also in the members area if you want to learn more about that. I think it's I wouldn't share it with you guys if I didn't think it was something of value that everyone would find. So that's what we're all about here, delivering value on these calls. Just continue to march forward on this end of it. Don't listen to these experts about this. 30%. You shouldn't list in directories. I'm not saying you should. But or that Google doesn't like the paid ones. Well, it's obvious that they're not penalizing for it. I've showed several on here that are paid ads, and they're fine. They're not being penalized. In fact, it was in the top 10 of their highest ranking value-added sites on here. So that's obviously not true. And that was 2 examples I found in 10 minutes. And my team can go through this, and they can sift through and find hundreds of these, literally hundreds. So that tells me whatever that expert is out there saying is wrong, okay? They're on the Titanic. Stay on Noah's Ark. Stay on the right ship on the end of it. My name is Chris Winters. We will talk to you on the next webinar. Take care. Bye.